Greetings, fellow nerds! Welcome to another MTG NerdPhil video where we are doing some Strixhaven standards. So, if you want to see more stuff like that where we're doing some wacky, fun, awesome decks, be sure to hit that subscribe button, give this video a thumbs up, hit that notification bell so you have an easier time finding me in the future, and so you can participate in Fan Submission Fridays. We have a video coming from a subscriber this Friday. I'm excited to try, excited to play it out. And if you want your deck to be featured on the channel, just be sure to hit any of those buttons down below, and then you drop an Aether Hub link, or you can copy and paste an entire deck list down below. And yeah, I'd love to see what you guys are cooking. Can be in any format, and can be a serious, trolly, whatever you want it to be. So, question of the day. What school do you think you are under for these new schools? From Lowhold, Witherbloom, Silverquill, Prismari. I took the test and I feel like, it caters very much one way, but personality wise, I think like I'm a little bit more like in between like Silverquill and like Lorehold. I'm not really sure, like just that adventurous extrovert side of me. I think I would belong in one of those two schools alone just based off that. But like I secretly want to be in the Quandric school just because like I have a lot of friends that are like super smart and it's like really inspiring. But I think personality wise, I'm one or the two. But let me I know I don't, some of you may not know me on a personal level, but just based off what you know, let me know what you think, what school I'm under, and tell me what school you guys think you are. So today we're looking at Monored Dwarves. We're going to look at Boros Dwarves as well. There's a lot more Boros stuff to work with. And we're going to look at Boros Clerics. So we got a new addition to this deck. We might see it in play, we might not. So far this deck, I've made a couple of changes and I want to show you what we are working with. So we've got 3 shocks, and I'm using one of the alternate art. I guess you can't like actually craft these, which is kind of weird. I guess you have to pull them from the packs themselves, but I really like the new art. I think it's brilliant. It looks amazing. I got a set booster myself, and I love the art and the addition that you get 1 per pack. Like I think that was a brilliant, amazing idea. Good job, Wizards. 3 Magdas for the ramp, for a small anthem effect for our dwarves, so great card. And we are playing 3 dragons, so great addition, or great card, always has been a great card. 4 Rimrock Knights for the boost, and the creature itself. 3 Scorching Dragonfires for the removal. 7 dwarves, and we are playing all 7 dwarves. Actually, like a pretty good card all around, especially when you have the anthem effects going from Magda. Bone Crusher Giant. Great card. I know it's not a dwarf, but the ability to, the adventure cards have always been strong from Throne of Eldraine, so I'm gonna include it here. 3 Breakneck Berserkers. A lot of people don't expect this card. It's 3/2 haste, not great. I think it could have been a 3/3 haste at an uncommon and would have been fine, but we're gonna work with what we have. And this card is great. It surprises a lot of the opponents. So one of the new cards that we got is Stormkiln Artist. And because treasures count as artifacts, this card is great. And we do play a Scorch Dragonfire and Shocks. So we can potentially create treasure tokens. Of course, I honestly think he could have gotten a +1/+1 for each artifact, but maybe that would have been too strong. But it works out. It's an aggressive card overall, so that's what matters. 4 Torbrands, of course, to make all our creatures punch harder. And then our Goldspan Dragons for all the treasures and for the aggressiveness of this card. 4 Ember Cleaves, of course. 2 Cyruskull Smashings, 4 Castle Embereth, 3 Dwarven Mines, and 11 Mountains. So, yeah, made a couple of nice additions here. I think the Stormkiln card will... I'm only playing him with 2. I didn't want to play 3 because he is a bit of a high curve card, and that's something I thought, I already have Torbrand and Goldspan Dragon as kind of my high end, and I don't want to make more of that. So I'm gonna actually go ahead and mulligan this card's. If I had 1 mountain, I probably would have kept, but I'm gonna go ahead and mulligan. And since we're going first, yeah, this card's great. This hand's great. So again, the Stormkiln Artist, we're not going to see it in action, unfortunately, but just because it is a 4-drop and I don't have the lands for it. So just going to play a little bit of the patient game here. So we're going to start off with 7 dwarves and see what gets cooking, right? So 7 dwarves is actually pretty good because if you get multiple of them out, they just get extraneously bigger. Of course, there are things that target CMC as opposed to like strength or toughness, but still a great card for a 2-drop. Like, it's like an Anthem effect built on itself, which is pretty great. So I'm actually going to go ahead. Oh, let's attack. And then get Rimrock Knight in here. So we're going to punch it for 4. And we will also play the Rimrock Knight. So again, adventure cards, really solid. I think that's why Throne of Eldraine was so... Oh, interesting. Okay, so he's learning as well. So this is the Witherbloom, like, sacrifice. Yeah, I figured he would play that. So this actually worked out for us pretty well. So the Haze guy's going to come in real handy. So he's probably going to play that just for the life gain. What's interesting is that we have 6 damage on these spots, so that's also something to consider. I'm actually going to go ahead and play 7 dwarves, leave myself open for a shock. Okay, that makes sense. It's tempting to play the shock, honestly, and save Rimrock Knight, but we have 6 damage to the... I'm treating this as almost as 6 damage to the face, and that's pretty good. It's very hard to pass up, so I'm just going to play it out a little bit, see what lies in store. Okay, that's a little annoying, but nothing too crazy. I'm actually going to go ahead and shock to the face now. So I believe we win, right? Because, yep, he can block 1, and then he takes 6 to the face. So again, 7 dwarves, that kind of built-in mini Anthem effect being really helpful here. So we do beat the Witherbloom Quandrix School, which was great. Great start to the deck. It plays like mono red, not as... Oh, sure, we'll go ahead and play that. It has like its own strengths and weaknesses, as I've said multiple times. The addition of to Stormkiln, it is dependent on Magda being out, which is pretty important, or at least an Embercleave perhaps, or having a couple of your instances in your hand. So he is a bit situational. So in this case, it's actually going to be working out great. So you actually don't play Magda turn 2. You actually play like something else. And the reason for that is you want the Magda to trigger kind of safely in a certain sense. So, oh, looks like we're playing against mono white. Oh no, we're playing against cycling. So, this would be... Here's the thing, we have good removal spells in our hands. We just kind of have to decide when we're able to do that. So if like a fox comes out right now, okay. This is fine. So I'm actually going to go ahead and play the Magda, and we get to do something cool here. So, and then before blocks are declared, we get to play the Bone Crush. So Magda is really strong because she gives you that extra mana that, I think the volume's super loud. I'm so sorry. I'm actually going to go ahead and drop that a little bit right now. So rip ears. So that's why Magda is super strong turn 3, actually. And then you'll still get the extra mana when Magda attacks later on. But, okay, that's fine. It's actually more than fine. I'm actually going to go ahead and do this. And once again, we get the mana that we need to just do this. Just kind of ruin their day a little bit. And we get to punch in for a lot more. So they were also mana screwed, but honestly, that's kind of what you get for playing cycling. I know they're a little bit lighter on lands because they cycle a whole bunch, but... okay, this is actually super important here. because they get to chump block. But we get to once again kind of ruin their day a little bit. And I actually think we have enough here to trigger Capsule and Breath. So that is actually enough. So we'll take another victory there right off the bat. You can certainly trade with the Magda, but at that point it is too late, I'm afraid, because everyone is also doing 2 more damage. So yeah, Castle and Breath, it was something I also didn't add, but it was a nice addition to the deck, just because and the reason I didn't play the castle before was to trigger Dwarven Mind more, but I realized the effect from Castle and Breath is actually way more powerful, and just sometimes it's just the right card that you need to punch through for the victory. So yeah, we just got 2 quick succession of victories there. You know, of course, you know, I think against cycling too, like this deck counters that pretty well because you're being aggressive while still having access to your removal spells. So it really does hose the deck pretty hard. There's cycling is very good at chump blocking, but it can't chump block forever. So we're gonna go ahead and keep this. So turn 1, turn 2, and turn 3, and even onwards. So that's pretty nice. Turn 1 is not like always a guarantee, but I'm trying, and hopefully I passed fast enough to where he doesn't think I have something in my hand. Okay, I'm actually gonna go ahead and shock this. Seems kind of strange, but it does turn off the Lovestruck Beast in a certain sense. So I would say it was worth it. Okay, so turn 3, I can get in with the Berserker. Oh, I was gonna say Mono Green is a bit of a hard matchup, but this also worked out really well. This might be a counterspell, but I'm willing to run into it, honestly. Yeah. So he plays a variation of creatures and counterspells. It was worth running into it at that point. So he's probably the Lovestruck Beast here. That would be... Oh, okay. No, interesting. So that's actually makes the decision a little bit easier for me. And that's for 5. Now, I would have to draw a land if he plays a Lovestruck Beast. He gets a nice draw there too, which is... Oh man, okay, so lots of things are happening. And unfortunately, I did not draw the removal spell that I would have liked. So I'm just going to go ahead and attack here. Just kind of have to accept the fact that we are trading. It is a 2-for-1. So this is Simic or Quandrix, I guess I should be saying now, right? With counter spells, and which is pretty smart. I think that's a good way of playing creature decks. Okay, that worked. Maybe a little too late, perhaps, but I'll go ahead and kind of invite myself to the possibility of being just completely destroyed here. I kind of have to run into it at the end of the day. Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna scoop here. So that's actually a good way of playing the Quandrix Simic School. It's weird to say these names now. Because it protects yourself in a way that's like unexpected, especially kind of green-blue. You never really know what they're gonna go. Are they gonna go creatures? Are they gonna go counter spells? When are they gonna do either or? Like he was playing Garruk's Uprising, which is pretty clever. It's a good way to refill your hand. So let's get in for another. I'm gonna go ahead and keep this. I'm not a huge fan. This is a very risky keep, but Tomb Rimrock Knights isn't terrible either. And you know, if we do curve out into a Goldspan Dragon, like that's pretty solid. I would be very heavily dependent on my draws though, and that's gonna be pretty rough, right? Okay, so far so good. I'm just gonna hardcast a Rimrock Knight. He had something for 1 mana unless he's playing like automatic pauses, so that's also something to consider. Looks like we're playing against mono green, so this will be an interesting matchup. I'm not sure why mono green would need the Blizzard Brawl for mono green. Okay, so this is actually oh wow, that was actually not bad. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove that. I'm gonna go ahead and punch him for 5, which is pretty nice, honestly. So what's nice about this combo that we're going on is that we will get a 1/1. It's not a whole lot. It's not great, but it's something, right? So we are playing against mono green. Not too surprising, but that might actually be nice. We will need to once again draw them. So we actually drew 2 lands in a row, which like normally I'd be pretty upset about. Oh, okay. I did say Blizzard Brawl was a possibility, did I not? Okay. So I'm actually going to not play the Rimrock Knight because Left Stroke Beast comes in and I can at least potentially make a trade perhaps. It's kind of, I'm not entirely sure. Okay. Shock is not bad. This is tough. I'm just gonna go ahead and play the Storm Kiln and pass the turn. This is gonna be a little painful, not gonna lie. So unfortunately we did not draw 3 lands in a row, which like normally I don't ask for, but in this case it was at least something I wanted to kind of hope for in the case that Goldspan Dragon could really help us out here. So looks like another Blizzard Brawl, which is actually fine. I'm actually a little surprised. Oh, okay. Not surprised anymore with the Great Henge. So that's what's going to cause us to lose the game. Great Henge has been a fantastic card for green. It's been a welcome addition. So no blocks. I'm just going to accept my fate. Especially if I don't draw a land, that's going to be pretty rough too, right? So Blizzard Brawl was a pretty good addition to green as well because it's a very cheap fight. Alright, so I did draw. I'm gonna go ahead and just play the Goldspan. Yeah, I'm just gonna go for it. I know he's gonna trade with the... Well, he actually might not trade. That's actually something... Yeah. That's actually kind of huge. I'm actually gonna go ahead and play the Rimrock Knight. So the reason why he actually probably didn't want to block is because he wants to attack with the Left Struck Beast. And I am potentially, I mean, if he does play the Vorinclex, I am dead. Plays the Gem Razor instead. It does have reach, that's actually super important here. If I can draw an Embercleave, that'd be solid. Because that would pretty much guarantee me the victory, actually. With the shock in hand. So kind of an Embercleave is what I'm looking for. He could also play the Faceless Haven as a blocker, so we're actually in a pretty tough spot. We're not out of the woods yet by any means. Another Goldspan Dragon would probably do it a little bit. Help us out. At the end of the day, I'm looking for an Embercleave. Okay, so yes, I 100% need an Embercleave now just to... He decides to attack. That might cost him. That might just be enough for me. Unfortunately, it is not. Okay, so even though I have 4 copies of Embercleave, the likelihood of drawing it is still pretty low here. So I actually think it's GG because that's 10 trample that I have to block. Could block. It is possible for me to survive this turn. but the problem is that this is gaining him life. So that's kind of an issue. Oh, okay, so that does do it. Because, and I love Garuk actually, because he just puts it on the Love Struck Beast. So, I'm gonna get him for one more game here. Sometimes you draw the Ember Cleave, sometimes you don't. That's why we do play 4 copies in this deck. You kind of do need it to punch through for the last points of damage. Normally, I don't recommend playing fours of legendaries, but Ember Cleave is a card that you want 4 of. So let's Mullet Master. I like this. Yeah, he's playing a bald guy. Is that the irony here? So this is a little bit of a risky keep, but I am gonna keep it. We are going second, which I'm not thrilled about, but it could be just enough. We only need to draw 1 land really for our hand to function, and we'd be good. I love like the new layout here. It's really clever. Okay, so first draw was pointless. We already have a Torbrand, but it's important to know how to play from behind. So mag this here. That's actually not bad. I forgot this guy was a flyer. This is kind of weird. Because we don't have like ETB abilities that trigger, so oh, he's playing weird stuff. Okay. I don't know what we're playing against, so that's gonna be super important. So if we can't draw a land for 3 turns in a row, the match is somewhat already decided at that point, because you are playing from behind. And he probably has a removal spell. So we did draw a land, which is nice. I'm gonna go ahead and pay for it. I'm not like thrilled about it, but we're gonna try and swing the tide back in our favor a little bit. Right, we have the Ember Cleave. We need to get it online as soon as possible. Is this Orzhov Spirits? It's actually kind of cool, not gonna lie. So cool thing is if I can get this guy to stick and play the Magda and get the attack to go through, we'll actually have enough mana to once again do the Bone Crusher Giant combo that we've been trying to do. I suspect that one of this is a Heartless Act, so I'm gonna do my best here just to kind of get what we need. Okay, this was actually pretty nice. So we got exactly what we needed. So what we are getting, we are gonna get our combo off, right? So I'm gonna go ahead and pass priority. Okay, that worked out. Okay, we are in the lead. I've got nothing to hide, so I'm just gonna let him kind of do his thing and then react to it. Ooh, Kiliak. Okay, interesting, interesting. Lifelink is actually pretty important here. Okay. Wow, the -1 coming in real handy. Somewhat unfortunate, but I'm gonna go ahead and just play it as is. He can protect it, which is fine. Yeah, that's fine. That doesn't matter to me too much, to be quite honest. Okay, so this is super important to recognize, right? We drew 3 Torbrands, and we did not draw the 4th land to play the Torbrand. Again, games are somewhat a little decided when this stuff happens, right? Not necessarily, this is not necessarily GG, this is not necessarily, you know, the end of the world, but the game might be slipping away from us just because we couldn't draw our 4th land, right? So here's Scorching Dragonfire. Again, decent card, but not going to be super helpful in this instance, right? Now, to be fair, we are punching it harder, so this is still pretty important. Okay, so he decides that he wants to go for the trade here. I'm actually okay with that. I'm willing to make the trade and it seems like he has something. Okay, so Okay. Oh, also keep in mind we didn't draw the 4th land for the Embercleave as well. So lots of things are going to happen here. So actually, if I do it like this, it forces him to make the decision of which he wants to protect. Either way, it comes out somewhat to my advantage, right? Because I get to keep my creature. I got to keep my creature, which was pretty important here. Okay, so he's also out of mana. So that's huge. Or he's out of cards, but since he has more lands than I do, he's kind of in a little bit more of a favorable position than I am. So he decides to go with the Mogus Favor. I do find that a little interesting, to be honest, but I guess it does make the trade happen at the end of the day. If I do draw the land for Embercleave, I win, right? Which of course did not happen. Alright, so now he has to make the trade. I mean, again, these haste guys are making a difference. Again, if we draw a land, we win the game. So, and he drew kind of a good card into what's happening here, but if we, honestly, we just need to draw a land and we win. It's surprising that we've been looking for a 4th land, but it's important to know how to play even if stuff like this happens. This is hopefully a good case of, hopefully you're seeing a good case of how to play from behind, how to play from unlucky situations, right? Because in paper, this probably wouldn't happen all that often, to be quite frank. So he's doing this for the trade, and wow, this is so funny. I'm going to go ahead and attack. I just kind of have to go for it at this point. Yeah, this is not surprising. Do not get me wrong. We would have won ages ago had we drawn any land, right? But it's just not meant to be. Which is okay. Again, playing from behind super important. I'm not surprised that this is happening at all. Okay, so we did draw our 4th land. Keep in mind actually that these two are not like categorized as land, and that's why I play the dual modal lands, because even if arena randomizer screws you over somehow, you still have an ample opportunity to hopefully overcome that. Dual modal lands are a small glimmer of a shot. Wow, we drew all 4 Torbrands. They're a small glimmer of a shot to say I have a chance to not be screwed over and hopefully still make a comeback, right? So I guess there's a plus side to having 4 Torbrands right now. If he kills it, then like we have another one. I'm not sure what's in his hand. He hasn't played anything in quite some time. Selfless Savior is fine. That doesn't do a whole lot right now with no other creature on the board. It does provide him a chump blocker. Okay, so this is really funny. Like, just looking at this, right? Arena is still trying to favor the opponent in a certain sense. The opponent is still given a shot, right? At the end of the day, the arena is trying to really help out the Muppet Master, but once we draw our 5th land, it is game over. There is nothing the opponent can do at that point. Will we draw the 5th land has been, the 4th and 5th land has been the question this entire game. So this is super amusing at the end of the day. Okay, that's actually kind of important, right? Gaining potential counters. So yeah, this is huge. So what's going to happen is that he blocks, and then, yep, Selfless Savior comes in. So we drew, this is important to recognize. We drew all our top end cards, right? Arena is still trying to say, how do we make Mullet Master win, right? He's already played so far from behind, right? We've given him lands, we're giving this person cards. Which one actually wins, right? But this is also deck building, right? This is an interesting deck. It's trying to do something new, creative, innovative. It's it's somewhat respectful in that sense, right? He might need to go all out. Because he does not lose if he attacks. So he decides to go all in. He's all in on this, right? Okay, and then of course Arena decides to waste everybody's time. And I believe that would do it. So this would be 4 damage. This would be, yeah, I believe that would do it. So we would have won a long time ago had we been able to actually play our hand. But I guess Arena decided to say, all right, this has gone long enough. Let's make it end here. I was pretty confident. And at that point, like, we had drawn all our entire top end, so we'd only be getting stuff that was relevant at that point. But it's really humorous to see the randomizer behave in a certain fashion, right? It's like, you know, is it random? It is. At the same time, it's not. So, hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Us facing against opponents and the current meta, us facing against the randomizers. So, if you want to see more stuff like that, if you want to see this, I feel like this is a perfect channel of, you know, a lot of people online complain about, you know, I get screwed all the time by the randomizer. This is the perfect channel for you at the end of the day to say, what do I do when that happens? Do I just scoop? Do I keep playing it out? This is the perfect channel. So, click those buttons down below. Be sure to tune in for Fan Submission Friday. And of course, if you want to participate, drop your Aether Hub link or deck list down below. And right now, up top, YouTube will show you my most recent upload. And then right below that is a video that YouTube thinks you specifically like. Probably a deck you haven't seen me play. So go ahead, explore on your channel. Helps me out. Thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you for your next NerdPhil.